We're now joined by Tennessee head coach Kellie Harper. She'll take questions now from you about Tennessee's upcoming games this week against against Georgia at home and on the road at Alabama on Sunday. Maria?
Coach, I know you have said that you don't care about polls, and obviously during the season you are focused on the next game. But in this case, Tennessee is back in the top 25, and Eric Trainer has pointed out that Tennessee has been in the top 25 every season since the AP poll was created. In terms of recruiting, what can it mean to be in that poll in terms of visibility?
Well, I think that's where we belong. I think this program is a program of excellence, and I think the bar is set really high here, and the expectation is that that's where we are. And I think our name on that list it's important. I'll say this though, we're when we were getting back to practice after our COVID time, we were on the tick on every ticker I saw had Tennessee's coming back to practice. I don't know many other programs that they're going to do that for. They're going to say that we're actually practicing. So I think our program still resonates strongly nationally. And I think, just having that name in that poll only reiterates that.
Jimmy?
Kellie, when you get the inside performance that you did in your most recent game with Marquis and then Kashi Kishkitawa, how much better does that make your team?
Well, I think we're best when we're balanced, and you have to account for everybody on the court. And I think they've been giving us some great possessions, big minutes, big plays. I thought they did a really good job on offensive boards and putbacks. I thought they were physical. They're being more aggressive, looking for opportunities, and I think it changes a little bit of our look, and it should make us harder to guard.
And also, just talk a little bit about the progress of Jordan Horston from last year to this year.
Well, I think anytime you see, anytime you're working with players who are really talented, you're going to see improvements. And I tell you, after the season last year, I knew 100% that Jordan Horston was going to be a better player her sophomore year, just for the sheer fact that she was going to be a year older and a year experienced. Her game is more mature. She's playing consistent basketball right now. She's still unbelievably talented. She's playing with a lot of confidence, and when she makes a mistake, she can move on. She's comfortable enough doing that, and sometimes it's just the process. You have to learn who you are as a college basketball player. That's for every freshman. So she had some great games, great moments, great minutes last year, and I think it was a good freshman year, and she's continuing to improve.
Ben?
Coach, you don't have the game that stands out this week like a matchup against number 13 Arkansas, but like you said on Sunday, Georgia and Alabama are very talented teams, both 10-1. What do you see in them that will give y'all problems?
Well, I think initially what you just said, if we walk on the court and think we're going to win just because we're wearing an orange jersey or because they're not ranked, it won't happen. It won't. So our mindset is the first thing that we have to do. We have to go in and understand these are really good basketball teams. I think our upperclassmen really understand that every night in the SEC is tough. You don't have off nights. I think it's going to be important that we lock in, that we continue to find ways to be better on both ends of the court every single day, every single game, because we're going to have to play well. These two teams are really, really good.
Gustavo?
Coach, your team is already 40% into the regular season. What did you learn from your team, or what do you see from your team now that you didn't expect from the beginning of the season that kind of surprised you positively in terms of this point of the season?
Well, I think one thing that I've always said, I rarely have surprises. We're with them daily. We see growth and we see maturity daily. We see where they're at. So when they step out on the court, we have a pretty good idea of what we're going to get. Occasionally we are surprised. It doesn't happen a whole lot. Right now, what I like our competitiveness. I like that we can lock in and focus. We can handle the details. I think we're beginning to really understand ball movement, player movement, roles, spacing, positioning, communication. I think those things are all getting better, and all of those things to be a good basketball team, you've got to check all those boxes. So hopefully we'll continue to do that. But I like the way we're thinking right now. I like the fact that the majority of these games, we're all on the same page.
Donnie?
Coach Harper, congratulations on moving into the poll. What are some things that you're going to try to do offensively and defensively against Georgia and containing Jenna?
Well, I think for them, the interesting thing about them, they've got some really dynamic and quick guards on the perimeter that we're going to have to guard, because if we don't guard them, it's going to give their post players more opportunities. So I think that may sound funny, but we've got to start with our one-on-one defense. We've got to be able to guard a little bit better so that we're not having to rotate and move around. I think our players understanding scouting important, understanding who you got to lock into, be physical with, guard early, be aware of. I think all of those things are definitely in play when we're guarding Georgia and how they're going to attack us. I think for us offensively, it's going to be really important that we take care of the basketball. They guard. Georgia will get down and guard you as well as anybody, and we're going to have to really work, be strong with the ball, be careful with the ball, so that we can find offensive production.
Maria?
Coach, if you look at teams receiving votes, Georgia would actually fall at about number 27. So there's really not much difference there in terms of the numbers beside the team. Obviously, you've talked about Georgia being able to defend. They offer experienced guard play and obviously a solid post game. For someone like Tamari Key, is it almost better that she faces size in the paint? Sometimes I think it's harder for the post when they got all those pesky little guards just leaning into them and making all that lower body contact.
Yeah, well, I think Tamari is more comfortable guarding a post player on the block, and that's what she's conditioned to do. A lot of times throughout the year, we have to move her around depending on our opponent, but for the most part, her strength is definitely on the block. But they have those little guards that can get in there, and we don't want them to get to her, obviously. But if they do get to her, then you're going to have to play too. We're going to have to rotate. There's going to be a lot of things that have to happen for us to be able to contain them.
Ben?
Coach, I don't believe you've updated the status of Jada McCoy, so forgive me if you have, but will she be available moving forward this week?
She is still a day-to-day, so I would not anticipate having her, but we're monitoring her and working with her on a daily basis.
And then when you've gone back and watched the tape from the win over Arkansas, the win over LSU, what have you liked and what have you also emphasized in practice to improve on?
Well, coming out of the Arkansas game, I thought our players were really locked in and executed a game plan. I thought our transition defense was solid. I thought our ball movement was terrific. I thought our patience offensively was good, and our work on the boards was good. LSU, our transition defense was okay when they weren't getting steals and scoring. Our work on the boards was okay. And defensively, we could have been a lot better. I felt like I thought they really really took it to us, and we did not do a good job of containing penetration. Offensively, we scored enough. I thought there were times we didn't get enough ball movement, and I thought we were a little stagnant, especially in the second half.
Jimmy?
Kelly, you have a rebound margin of about 16 per game. How much of that is your size, your effort, or your positioning?
Well, I think right now the majority of that has been our effort. Secondary, our size, and third has been our positioning. Although I coach positioning, we do work on positioning rebounds a lot. I think right now we're still getting them because we're athletic and we have size, and we're giving great effort. Be nice to check all three boxes. We will continue to work on that.
Also, in terms of three-point attempts, you did not have many at LSU. Is there a point where you feel like you're glad that you didn't have too many attempts, or that you're concerned that you had too many? Is there a number, or does that just depend on the flow of the game?
You know, for me right now, it depends on the flow of the game. There have been some times that some games that we've taken a few more threes, they've gone in, we've been okay with that, or we are in good position to rebound those misses. But for the most part, I think anybody picking up a stat sheet and watching our games, they see we score in the paint a lot. Obviously, that's important to us, and that's a primary goal. And so, you know, can we shoot the three? Yes. We've got players that can shoot the three. I think right now we take good threes. We don't take rushed threes. We don't take forced threes. And, you know, that number will fluctuate game to game.
Maria?
Coach, since we're talking to you today about the upcoming games this week, and I know you haven't really had a chance to look at Alabama, but can you break down just the challenges that Alabama will present, especially on the road?
Well, fortunately, I've actually seen them play a little bit more than I normally would at this point due to our week off. I think they come in with very experienced players, very confident players. They execute a game plan on both ends of the court. It's very apparent and obvious what their goal is and what they're trying to do. I think they have balanced scoring. They have a point guard that is terrific right now. They've got a post player that's shooting an unbelievable percentage in the paint. And then the players around them are doing exactly what they need to do. I've been really impressed with Alabama.
A quick follow-up just about the SEC in general. Arkansas, of course, was willing to run up and down the floor. LSU is a physical basketball team in the full court and in the half court. Do you think some of your newcomers were introduced to how physical the SEC is, and is that something they can adjust to going forward?
Yeah, I hope so. I think we see, you know, we've seen the both ends of the spectrum in terms of pace now. You know, I think you see some physicality with LSU. I think we'll see even more as we move on. You know, the aggressiveness that we're going to see against Georgia is going to be at least in their man defense, whereas LSU's their aggressiveness just looks a little different. I think our younger players are learning on the fly, but I think I think they've been. I'm hopeful that our non-conference games have kind of helped a little bit, move them into a positive space, knowing what they're going to see.
We'll take one final question from Gustavo.
And Coach, how do you see the way your team has been closing the game? I feel like versus LSU, that wasn't the main factors, because even though LSU had chances to win the game, you guys closed really well, especially defense. How do you see the way your team has been closing games, sustaining the win?
Well, I think we've had now really 3 close games, and we lost 1 in overtime. I'll be honest, we were down 6 going into the fourth quarter. and give ourselves a chance to win. So you could say we closed okay. I mean, we got in the fourth quarter was okay, got ourselves in position to win. We didn't close it. We just didn't close it. We didn't finish it. Had a close game at Indiana and finished it. Got the buckets when we needed them, got the stops when we needed them. Those are important. LSU, we missed 4 free throws and a layup inside a minute. So I don't, fortunately we had a defensive stop to end the game. Don't know that we necessarily closed that one well, but found a way to win.
Right. Thank you, Coach, and thank you for the members of the media for joining us today.